Hey, how's you going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. Well, guess what? Today I'm not going to be working on the shop, but I'm going to be working in the shop. I got it cleaned up enough so I can get the estate car in here. And last fall when I put my estate car away, it wasn't working all that great. So we're going to bring it around here and put it in the shop and see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. Well, we got ourselves a nice day here anyways. Eh? Beautiful day. This, by the way, in case you're keeping score, it's the 13th of March. Almost St. Paddy's Day. Get ready. Anyway, we're going to go around here to the back of the shop and in the garden shed. And I got to get the estate car here, and I'm going to have to push it because it won't start. Well, my first thoughts are, man, I got a lot of room in the shop. It's never nice. Maybe just a quick look around the shop. I got rid of my lumber storage rack, so I've got like tons of room in here now. So I kind of reorganized some things here. Repositioned the saw, made it so a little bit more room there. I still have lots of things on the bench here, but I'm going to be working at that and cleaning that up. And of course, the bench under the window has got stuff piled on it. But yeah, lots more room around the shop for working. I don't know where I put all those things from the shop, but well, I burnt a lot of scrap wood. But I got rid of them, and now I can enjoy a nice big shop. Isn't that nice, big and airy? And it's heated, I like that. But it's the Dakin heat pump that I'm still using, and the Dakin heat pump, it's on its last legs. So we've got plans to replace that, and that'll be coming up in a future video. But for now, we're going to try and start the old estate car and see if it'll even turn over. And then after that, we're going to start diagnosing and see if we can figure out what's wrong with the old girl. The battery is good, eh? I never touched this battery all winter. So, never had a battery tender on it, never had nothing. But I think the gas is turned off, because I always like to turn off my fuel. And it is, there we go. And I still have lots of oil. The problem I had is, when it started, it would run at wide open throttle, eh? So let's just see how we make out. I've got the choke on. Hey, it started. I'm amazed. You know what? I put this in the garden shed there. I bet you it was the middle of last August. And here it is the middle of March. So what's that? 4 and 3, 7. I'm going to say for a minimum of 6 months, this machine hasn't been started. And the battery was still good and it started up. I cranked it for quite a long time too. Did you notice? And it started up. But the problem I had, the reason I set this down last year was when it would run wide open throttle. And that was the case right now. I had it on choke to start. Once it started, I take it off choke, it would run wide open. Now I didn't let it run long enough to warm up properly because it was getting too smoky here in the shop. I'm going to have to open the door here in a minute. But when I take it off of full throttle, it would just die. It needed to have a little bit of choke on it, and it was running wide open. So that's the problem. I'm going to start to try to diagnose what that is. And once we get that squared away, we're going to just give this machine a once over, get it ready for the spring and the summer workload ahead. So I took the hood off it. I want to take this cowling off now, because what I think the problem is there's problems with the throttle linkages. So we'll be able to address that once I get this off of here. So this should come off. Oops. There we go. Put the dipstick back. Take the air cleaner off. I bought this estate car, oh, I think it was 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years. And if anybody's wondering, it was in pretty bad shape when I bought it. So I kind of redid it all. So if you're interested in seeing that, if you watch in the video, there'll be a card come up in this corner, and it'll be a link to the playlists for rebuilding the estate car. All right, so this is the carburetor, and this is the choke linkage here. So the choke is wide open right now. And the back one here, this one, is the throttle. And if you see this screw right here, this is the screw that you adjust the idle speed at. So that this dog-eared thingy here on the throttle, that leg right there should be sitting right up tight against that screw. And my throttle is at low speed. So if I turn it to high speed, well, there goes the choke on. So that's high speed, low speed. You see there's no difference in the throttle setting. So that's telling me that something got messed up. I'm going to try and discover what the hiccup is. Hard to see it. But anyway, I'm going to investigate that a little further, and then I'll show you if I find anything abnormal. So I've been trying to discover why my throttle is stuck wide open. Well, it's hard to determine what's going on behind this speed. This is called a speed control bracket right here. It looks like everything, all the springs and everything is in the proper position. So I'm not sure what's up. I'm going to take this off anyway, see if I can figure out what's going on behind it. I may be sorry I do this, but anyway. I'm going to do it anyways. Just because I'm a wild man. Now, taking this bracket off, this is going to introduce some problems to get it back in position. We're going to have to do a throttle setup and a choke setup. So this could be a learning experience too, right? Because I've never done this before. I was thinking maybe the issue was just the throttle cable got misaligned, but this just all of a sudden this happened. It was working great, and then all of a sudden it started only going at high speeds. Okay, here we go. Now, see, the only thing holding that on is the choke lever and the governor spring. I'm going to try and disconnect the governor spring. There we go. And now I'm going to try and get this choke lever off, just like that. So this is the governor lever. And see, when that's fully back, the throttle is closed here. But when I put this governor spring on it, it pulls the governor ahead. And I'm not sure why it does that. So I'm going to have to investigate why that is pushed ahead. It doesn't look like this throttle lever rod is disformed in any way. So anyway, we'll do some more investigating. I'll be back. So I was doing some investigating, trying to figure out why my estate car would run at high speed all the time and I wasn't able to control the speed. I took this plate off here, this throttle cable linkage and the throttle linkage itself and the choke linkage, and everything in there seemed to be tickety-boo, just the way it should be. I couldn't figure out why my throttle wouldn't come back to slow speed. So I happen to have a Husqvarna lawn tractor with a 21 horsepower Kohler Courage engine in it, which is the same as the 17 horsepower. I think the only difference is the decals. This one says 17 and the Husqvarna says 21. But when I was running up the Husqvarna, like all this connection and rigmarole here, that all looked the same on this tractor as the Husqvarna. But when I run up the Husqvarna, the big thing I noticed was the governor lever in it forces the throttle to go to slow speed, which is what a governor is supposed to do, right? As the governor is mounted inside the engine speeds up, the governor is a centrifugal clutch and it expands, and that expansion forces the governor lever to move away from the carburetor in this case, which closes the throttle and slows the engine down and governs the speed of the engine, which is what it's supposed to do. And on the Husqvarna it's working great, but on my estate car it's not working so great. It doesn't force the throttle back at all, and the governor is free to move back and forth, like there's no issue that way. And even when I move the governor when the engine is stopped, it has the same sort of spring tension on it as what the Husqvarna does, but that spring tension is created by a little spring that's behind this plate. So, you know, I'm thinking the internal governor on this engine is toast. So in order to fix it, I'm going to have to strip the engine apart, but I don't want to do that just now. I'm not sure if I want to go that far on this job. So for now, we're just going to say, ooh, whoa, baby. I'm going to do some more checks, though, to see if there's a way I can test the governor to make sure that it is faulty before I would put the dead sign on this engine. But for now, at least, the governor is not working. And I don't want to strip that engine down right now. I've got more important fish to fry. So that's it. So that brings us to the end of the video. I'm sorry, most of my videos I have kind of a conclusion to them, but there's no end in sight for this job. I think I'm going to have to tear the engine apart or find another engine or something, because this is going to be a bigger job than just, you know, flicking a spring, which is what I thought it was going to be when I started. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Hey, if you have any ideas about what might be causing my Kohler Courage 17 horsepower engine to stay at high speed, other than maybe a bad governor, then you could pass those along in the comments. I sure would appreciate that, as would maybe some of the viewers. So thanks for that in advance. Have a great week, folks. Thumbs up me, don't forget. And we'll talk to you soon.